大家好，我是安德。There are two types of foreigners living in Taiwan. Foreigners who don't speak Mandarin and foreigners who actually speak the language. There are countless of benefits of learning Chinese while you're living in Taiwan. Job opportunities, or possibilities of making new friends, learning the culture, understanding Taiwan better, having more possibilities when it comes to food, and the list go on. While most of foreigners think learning Mandarin is a difficult task, there are some of them who actually went one level higher. Taiwanese is even more difficult, and there are still people who are able to learn it and speak it. Today, I have a very special guest, Ayong. Ayong gonna help me learning basic Taiwanese, and you all watching, you also have opportunity to learn something. Let's get started with learning.
You can find me on YouTube at Along Taigi or Along Taigi or Facebook or whatever. Basically, I was living in Taiwan since 2008, and I moved from Taipei down to Kaohsiung around 2010. And when I moved down to Kaohsiung, I found out that even though I had been learning Mandarin, I was kind of like hearing a lot of stuff that I still didn't understand.
Yeah.
And at that time, I didn't even really know like what Taiwanese was. And then I found out like, wait a minute, they're not speaking Mandarin.
All right.
They're speaking something else. What's that?
Yeah.
And I found out it's Taiwanese, of course. And I assumed like, okay, everybody who speaks Taiwanese also speaks Mandarin.
Yeah.
So I don't really need to know Taiwanese. Like I can get by with Mandarin, it's fine. And I don't know about you, but like for me, this is probably 10 years ago, that I would consistently run into people who are like, they really don't speak any Mandarin. Especially like older people, maybe like 50, 60, 70. Maybe somebody like a shop owner or something, and like I want to go buy something or do something in this shop, and the guy's just like talking to me in Taiwanese. I'm like, I speak Mandarin, but I can't communicate with him. If I'm living here, I guess I better learn the local language. Like a lot of people ask me like, why do you want to learn Taiwanese? And I'm like, well, I didn't even think about it. Like I'm living here, that's what they're speaking. Of course I'm going to learn it. Like why would I not want to learn it? So that's what people ask me. That's why I always ask them back is like, do you go to France? What are you going to not learn French?
Yeah.
Right?
It might be tough.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
So I started to learn it, and then it was only kind of like after that I realized like that there's kind of more to Taiwanese than like just another language, because it's more like it's kind of like the roots of Taiwan are kind of like part of this language, you know, because Mandarin is new in Taiwan essentially. It's from like I know after the Chinese Civil War, and they started to come over and really make Mandarin like. In official public education and government documents and stuff. Before that, it was Taiwanese for what, 500 years?
You know, the thing about learning languages, I think is very important. It's not just the way you communicate with people, but once you learn the language, you start thinking like people who speak the language. Maybe 2-3 years ago, I started hearing and learning some words in Taiwanese, which is basically for me, it's non-existent. But I learned a few words. So I have a friend of mine, and one day we are boarding on a plane from澎湖to Kaohsiung, and I call him, hey, and I call his name, Alayan, and I say louder and louder, and no reaction. So at this moment I think, well, I say something else, Adoa! And he turned to me, so half of the plane turned to me. So this is the moment when I realized how, you know, strong is learning something in Taiwanese and being able to use it in everyday life. And it really pushed me to maybe more curious now about this.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, so you mentioned about how difficult Taiwanese is, right? But actually, the first thing I was going to teach you was maybe there's some stuff in Taiwanese that's not too difficult. Right. So there's English, there's Japanese, there's French, there's all these different languages in there. So I'll just say some Taiwanese words.
Okay.
They're loan words, and see if you can figure what they mean, right?
Okay.
All right, so first one, I think everybody knows. Biru.
Oh, this is easy, that's beer.
Okay. Otobai.
Autobus. Like a bus.
Auto bike.
Autobike.
Like a scooter.
Oh. Okay.
How about suripa?
Sleep. Maybe not.
Suripa.
Maybe. I was surprised. No.
Slipper.
Sleeper.
Like your slippers that you wear in the house.
Oh, sleeper.
Suripa.
I see.
Yep. How about lamune? Lamune.
Is it?
And another variation will be lamuneta. Lamune or lamuneta.
I would go. No, I have no idea.
Lemonade. But actually, in Taiwanese, it means any kind of like cola drink.
Oh.
Or like Coke or Sprite or whatever you call it.
Nice.
Lamure.
Lamure.
Yeah.
This is cool. Yeah, I know one. I know laida.
Oh, laida. Yeah, laida. Lighter. Here's another one, also from French. This one is pan.
It's bread.
Bread. See? So there you go. It's Taiwanese bread. It's pan.
Okay, so no mianbao.
Not mianbao. No, pan.
Just say pan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So there's a lot. My favorite one. This is my favorite one. I always tell this as an example. It's actually really easy to guess, but it has a really cool story. Ketchup.
Oh, I love this one. Of course, it's a ketchup, but it comes from the sauce, like fish sauce.
Yeah, what's so funny?
It's actually Taiwanese word.
Yes.
That came to English.
Yeah, it's made it all the way back around, right?
Yeah.
It went from Taiwanese to Indonesian to England because of the trading, to the US to Japan, back to Taiwan, and now it means something different.
Yeah. But the other thing is, I actually noticed that you have different sounds in Taiwanese and Mandarin. Like you have sui, and it didn't make any sense to me why in Mandarin, the Sweden and Switzerland is called Reidian,
yeah.
And then I asked someone who speaks Taiwanese, so how do you say Switzerland in Taiwanese, or how do you say Sweden? Sweden and Swiss, something like this.
So actually, it's almost exact. So Taiwanese for Sweden is Sweden.
Yeah. So
Sweden.
So this is like some words actually in Mandarin they came probably from like Fujianhua. I mean Taiwanese.
Yeah.
So, but I still think learning Taiwanese is a little difficult because of those tones. They are very difficult. A few days ago, I'm with my wife at 7-Eleven, and she's like, I already finished, and she's like looking for something around, and I'm standing kind of too close to the counter, so the lady looks suspicious at me. So I think I'm gonna tell her something. Maybe try Taiwanese this time. So you're gonna make the situation better here. So I say, 小蛋起来. And she looks at me. 需要袋子吗?
Oh yeah, it sounds a little bit like you said 小袋子嘛, or 小袋子呢.
So it's really, but next time I use it in different shop, and a lady starts speaking something to me back, but it seems like a positive answer. So
actually, there's a lot of words that people take from Mandarin, and they kind of assume that because they're both written in Chinese characters that you can just use them in any language.
Yeah.
Of course, that's like bogus. This particular one, like 稍等一下, you can kind of say that in Taiwanese, but it's not super authentic. So like you usually wouldn't hear grandma say 小蛋子. So for this one, I would say 半价.
半价.
Yeah, 半价.
半价.
Yeah, that means wait a minute.
So okay, let's get started. So saying hello and greetings.
Hello, right? So most people when they start learning Taiwanese, they hear this one all the time. 你好.
你好.
Right, 你好. But liha is another one of those ones that's kind of like the Latin.
Oh, it's like a copy of.
Yeah, so like most people, they don't really actually say liha that much. Usually, it's situational. So like if you're sitting, in because a lot of people have these shops that are on the first floor of their house, right?
Yeah.
So if you're sitting in a shop and you see someone walking past and you know them and you want to say hello, typically you'll invite them to come have a seat.
Yeah.
So instead of saying hello, you say 来这.
来这.
Yeah, 来这 means come have a seat.
Oh, okay. 来这.
来这. Or if you see someone outside or whatever that you run into, then instead of saying hello, they normally ask them if they've eaten already. People know this one, right? So, do you know that one?
I don't know, but I heard it many times.
So this one is 假爸爸.
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 Yeah, so 假 is eat, and then 爸 is full, and then 爸 is have you.
It's like 吃饱了吗?
Yeah, kind of like that.
假爸爸.
假爸爸. So I would say those two are like a lot more common would be 来这 or 假爸爸.
来这假爸爸.
Yeah. Or if you're eating actually and you see someone you know walk past, you'll just ask them to come eat with you.
Oh.
So then they just say 假饭.
假饭.
Yeah, 假饭.
假饭.
Means like eat.
Yeah, the eating is very huge in the culture here.
Yeah.
So how you say if let's say you're having dinner with the family and there is like older person who cooked and you really want to she impress you with her like cooking skills, like I'm gonna cook so well, and you want to say like 好吃, or.
Oh, okay. So you want to say that it's good, right?
Yeah.
So the easiest one you can just say is 喝价.
喝价.
喝价 so you say 阿嬷这一斤喝价.
阿嬷这斤喝价.
Yeah, 阿嬷 this is really good. 阿嬷这一斤喝价.
It's like 超好吃.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay. 这集
真好吃。
真好吃. Okay, so another situation happens very often in Taiwan. Let's say you got invited to a dinner. Let's talk something more professional with your client or your boss.
Oh, right.
And you want to say, like, 老板感谢.
Okay. So the boss in Taiwanese is 头家.
头家.
Yeah, 头家.
头家.
And then you could just say thank you. So thank you, there's a couple ways to say in Taiwanese.
I know 感谢.
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 Yeah, 感谢. Do re mi is mi re 感谢.
感谢.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, it really
You're a
works.
good teacher.
So 感谢. Also, you have 得谢.
得谢.
You probably heard, right?
Yeah.
得谢. Actually, they also usually would just say 谢谢.
谢谢.
Which is like Taiwanese pronunciation
This
of
one is
Mandarin.
the cutest,
谢谢.
actually. Yeah.
But there's actually another one. So those are like the Latin kind, and then there's another one that's like really Taiwanese way to say it, which is actually Lola.
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 Yeah, exactly. Lola. You gotta have the Lola.
Wow, this is so much stuff to learn.
Yeah, there's a lot, but that's why it's on video, right? So you can go back.
That's very good. Like, it's the thing is actually I'm learning them first time, so if I can learn it, basically everybody can.
Oh, yeah. So. If you're with the boss and you wanted to say, you could just say like 头家感谢. That's fine. 头家多谢.
大家感谢.
头家.
头家.
Yeah.
感谢.
Yeah.
And if you want to do the ganbei.
Oh, if you want to do the drink, then it's kind of means the same thing. You're gonna say make it dry, right? Because that's what ganbei really is, dry cup. So in Taiwanese you say make it dry, which is 好大. 好大. Yeah, 好大. 好大. And there's the famous song all your Taiwanese audience will know. It's like
really?
好大啦.
You can find it on NK TV.
Yeah.
Situation like you go to the market, you want to buy something and you ask for the price of something.
Right.
Like, for example, you want to buy online, right?
Online. Yeah, everybody's buying online.
Yeah, online is the best. So.
Okay, yeah. So you're gonna say boss again, same thing.
Yeah. So.
Pop
second
quiz.
one's gay. Second one's gay. No. Tao gay.
Yeah, 头家. 头家. So you say 头家. Online.
大家 online.
安怎卖?
安怎卖?
Yeah, 安怎卖?
安怎卖?
Yeah, so how do you sell pineapples?
So it's like 怎么卖?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
头家 online 安怎卖?
Online 安怎卖?
Yeah.
Yeah, would you like to give some maybe advice for people who like thinking of learning Taiwanese, and what do you think about this? Like,
I would say if you're interested at all, then yeah, definitely try and do it. It's like it's a really great way to connect with the local culture. There's a lot of like older music and even more recent stuff, TV shows and movies and everything. There's a lot of like local temple culture and all this stuff that's like built into the language. So it's really worth learning, I think.
Yeah.
And it takes a little bit of effort, but like don't feel too.
But it's not that difficult, right?
Yeah, don't feel too pressured about it. You just learn
take
it.
Your time.
Take your time.
Plus, I think every time when you say even one slight word in Taiwanese, like the audience is so stunned and are so happy.
Yeah, I think a lot of people just for a lot of local people here, Mandarin really is a foreign language.
Yeah.
So if they see somebody's taking the time to learn their language, right, not foreign language, to them that means something. If you want to learn, I got some lessons on my website. I have a lot of links to other resources and stuff on my YouTube channel, on Facebook. We also have a really cool forum. It's called Japabe. If you want to search for it, we'll put the link in the bottom.
Yeah, we're gonna put all the links in the bottom.
But we have a fully Taiwanese forum. Like everybody on there is writing in Taiwanese back and forth about whatever topics and stuff. And there's an English section on there for learners.
You definitely have to check it out.
Yeah, we got everything already there. So.
Okay.
感谢
收看。
收看。请点我。
请点我。
再会。
再会。Thank you very much. 谢谢，感谢。